a guy called Robin Carhart Harris from the Imperial College of London who's been doing some studies on how psychedelics tend to alleviate anxiety and depression that has not responded to conventional medications. And he came up with a theory to account for why they are so effective at doing this. And it's called the entropic brain theory. But basically the idea is that the brain has a certain kind of order and coherence. And it turns out that either through trauma or things that have happened in your past that have jolted your nervous system in a way that it has caused like a permanent agitation, can lead to the symptoms of either PTSD or anxiety and depression. All of those are directly in response to a brain that has gone hypervigilant, or an ego that has gone hypervigilant because it has experienced this threat, this feeling of potentially being obliterated by being attacked, by having trauma.
So it's always on guard?
Fight or flight, all the time.
Stressed, always,
always stressed. And so basically, when they did fMRI scans on the brain of these people that suffer from these diseases, they found that the default mode network, which is the part of the brain that sort of governs self-awareness, what they call the ego construct, has become a tyrant, is a great metaphor to describe it. So the ego is necessary. I mean, the ego gets the book written. The ego gets you out of bed in the morning. The ego makes you go to work. I mean, we need some ego in our lives, but when the ego metastasizes into a despot, into an authoritarian, it's no longer like an elected president, but a dictator, and it's super paranoid that everybody's against it, that the brain essentially has become too ordered. And those are the diseases of depression and anxiety and excessive rumination and looping thoughts and obsessive thinking and OCD and all that stuff. Too much order.
Yeah.
Right? But again, on the other extreme is too much chaos. Those are the diseases
too
of
much
psychosis.
Freedom.
Well, psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. That's a brain that's completely lost touch with any kind of tetherings. You don't want that either. But what seems to happen with psychedelics is that it takes brains that are too ordered and shakes the snow globe. And it's like a reset that doesn't necessarily send them all the way to chaos, but introduces a little bit of chaos in a brain that's too ordered to get it back to center. Back to, again, balance, back to towing the line between chaos and order, back to like flow between discipline and surrender.
Wow.
Because too much discipline, you're a martyr, you're a slave, right?
Yeah.
And too much disorder, well, you're like a crazy hippie artist living on the street who can't monetize to save his life, and like he's got to get his shit together, right? Because that's also important. So can you have both, right? Can you be a creative and a neurotic? Can you be free and disciplined?